on me. Go. Hello and welcome, Facebook. All right, I'm here with my sister Charlotte Beckwith,
Hello.
and also joining us today, be coming on camera shortly, is Miss Marlonda Taylor. You know it's time for Ask the Undertaker. We have been blessed to find our new radio show is now on KGGR, which is 10:40 a.m. on your dial, or if you're on the internet, it is kggram.com. Again, that's kggram.com. And listen, we start with them, and we've been blessed to be able to get our same time slot, Charlotte,
That's good.
from 10:15 to 11 o'clock a.m. live on the
Yes.
radio. But we're still doing Facebook
Mhm.
from 10 to 11 o'clock a.m. So be sure you tune in every Saturday. We're going to be right here. I want to start off by, first of all, giving out a few phone numbers. This is important because, of course, you can reach us 24/7 at GoldenGateFuneralHome.com. That's our website. But also my personal cell number, and I'm also going to give you my personal email address. So Ask the Undertaker is not just 1 hour long on Saturday morning, but it is 24/7. So my personal cell, and then also I want you to put that in there. Go ahead and punch this in for me. 214-317-7831. Again, that's 214-317-7831. That's my personal cell. You can text me, call me anytime. And my personal email address. Whenever you're ready, she's going to punch it in for us. CEO@GoldenGateFH.com. Again, that's CEO@GoldenGateFH.com. Listen, you can email Ask the Undertaker any question you have. You can text me, call me, just whatever you think is best. And y'all, listen, I only have one cell. That's the same cell that my kids have. That's the same cell my wife have. So just got to keep that in mind. That is my personal information. Now, also, we do pre-need, we do insurance, and you're going to hear me talk about the importance of each one of those. My sister Charlotte is a pre-need insurance agent. She's looking at her phone to give you her phone number. Now, what is your personal cell? It's going to be Charlotte Beckwith, and she's going to give you her personal cell. This is where you call. This is where you text for pre-need, but also insurance, life insurance, graded life, guaranteed life, term life, whole life. What's that telephone number?
My phone number is 214-863-9002. And I'll say it again, 214-863-9002.
Okay, that's her cell number. Now give them your email address, because if you're lying like me, I don't ever call people. I always email them.
Okay, my email is my first name, CHARLOTTE@AOL.com.
Yeah, she still got an AOL
I
account.
love
And
AOL.
listen, I still have one too. I'm just embarrassed to give it to you. So you got Charlotte's personal cell. You have her email address. That's where you call, text, email, for pre-need insurance, anything you need. You have mine. I am Ask the Undertaker. We are 24/7. That is so important, Marlonda, that everybody understand that. That Ask the Undertaker is not just 1 hour long.
It's not 1 hour long. We are constantly open. Mr. B will tell you that he will talk to anybody at 2:00 in the morning. He will answer questions. So we are always open. We are the only funeral home in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that is open even till 10 o'clock. So we have people that will come off the street and even stop
And
and
when she
ask
say
questions.
open to 10, we're talking about like the building.
Just the
Yeah,
building,
actually
but we're still
open,
open
yes.
24/7.
And
Yes,
then
sir.
Charlotte, you're okay with people calling you because you don't have another cell. You only have one
This
cell.
is the only number that I
Because
have.
a lot of times people say, I'll give you my cell number, but they got 3 of them.
This is the-
No. We're actually a family-owned, operated business. We say that because a lot of times people think, oh, you're so big and
Right.
you guys do so many services. Can we personally talk to the owner of the funeral home? Well, you have my cell number. You have my email address. This is my sister. Our father is the founder and owner, and he's still alive. A lot of
Yes.
people are concerned about Dad's health, and we appreciate that. But he's doing great. He's doing fine. So remember, we're excited today.
Absolutely.
We start our
New beginning.
New beginning
Yeah.
with KGGRAM.com.
Yes.
That is the sister station to Heaven 87.
Yes, sir.
So we're still in the same studio. We're still
Yes.
dealing with the same owners and same people. And they're good people.
Yes,
And we truly believe. What time do you have now?
I have 10:07.
10:07 to 10:15, we're gonna actually start on the radio.
Mhm.
So it's so important that certain things that we have an understanding with Facebook. First of all, Golden Gate Funeral Home is still owned and operated by the,
Beckwith family.
always have been,
Always
always
will be.
will be owned by our family and our family only. We'll never sold it. We never will sell it. You are dealing directly with the owners. Let's get this straight.
Let's get it straight.
Second of all, is that we want you to get to know the Beckwith family.
Mhm.
So we're gonna be very upfront and we're gonna be very honest
Transparent.
with you and transparent of who we are. Because I know you wanna deal with people that's like you and like-minded and that's concerned about this community. We're not someone that has to answer to shareholders or someone in some other state, some other city, some other country. We're right here. We are right here in your community.
Mhm.
We were born and raised here. That's
Yes.
important. Charlotte was born in Parkland
Hospital.
I was born in
Parkland.
Parkland Hospital. Other three children born in
All of
Parkland.
us was Parkland.
We all went to R.L. Thornton
Wow.
Elementary right here in
Yeah.
Cedar Hills. And
Wow.
she graduated from Carter. I
Mhm.
graduated from Skyline.
Mhm.
Carla graduated from SOC.
Mhm.
And Michael graduated
From
from Carter.
Carter.
And Debbie graduated from
From Skyline.
We were born and raised here in this community. We care about this community. But we take this worldwide.
Yes.
We thank God for TLC and Best Funeral Ever that
Yes.
allowed us to take this message worldwide.
Yes, sir.
And it's not just good for the Dallas-Fort Worth, Louisiana
Oh,
community,
yes.
it's good for the
Worldwide.
entire
Nation.
nation because
Yes,
we
sir.
talk about 7 things.
Yes.
And it's so important, Marlon. What's one of those things we talk about?
One of the things that we talk about that we find so often, Mr. B, is payable on death.
Okay.
We're still not adding our family or someone that we trust in Charlotte to our bank accounts. They don't have access to it, Mr. B, but we need to put somebody on those accounts.
Mhm.
Very important. Remember, she said that. Now, we normally do it in order,
Mhm.
and it's okay. I want you to write down 7 things. Payable on death is number 5.
Yes.
Number 5, my favorite number, right?
Mhm.
And that's how
That's why-
important it
yeah.
is.
Yes,
is
yes,
that
yes.
Payable on death.
Uh-huh.
Make sure you put someone on every bank
Mhm.
account.
Yeah.
Not as a joint account holder.
Mhm.
That's
Correct.
not what I'm saying. They should not have access to your bank while you're yet alive.
Mhm.
Payable on death is the key. Never let someone else get on your bank account until after you pass away. Go ahead, Shaw. What's another one of those 7?
Well, I'm gonna start with the first one because that's what I do. We talk about the pre-need.
Okay.
Okay, what a pre-need is that you are pre-planning. That means that you're planning ahead. It's always good to plan ahead to let your family know what your wishes is. And what it does is help in it. When death occurs, that's one of your worst days of your life. So to have things in order and pre-planning, that's what a pre-need is.
Now, Charlotte, can they finance it or can they not finance it?
You do not have to finance it. You can come into Golden Gate. We will sit down. We will go over the plan that you would like. And if you would like to finance this, we can also do that. And you can make a monthly payment, or you can actually come in and pay your funeral off.
So it's
ahead.
up to you. And it's interesting.
Uh-huh.
She said, come in. I know it's COVID.
Okay.
You guys, we have a great website.
Oh yes,
Okay, funeralhome.com.
absolutely. And I
You can
use
do
that
your-
often.
You can do your pre-need online.
Mhm.
You do not have to walk into our facility. We'd love to have you, but you don't have to. You might live out of town, or you might just don't want to get out with COVID. You can call Charlotte on the phone,
Call
and
me on
she'll
my
just
phone.
walk you through it
And actually I can do your pre-need over the phone.
over the phone. And now
Mhm.
we actually make film arrangements at need over the
Mhm.
phone and through our website. You never have to actually come to the building because of COVID. Now, do we still have families come in?
Yes,
Of
sir.
course we do. Some people like to touch, they like to feel. It's like shopping.
Yeah.
They don't want to do it over the
Mhm.
phone.
Mhm.
Now, Amazon is one of the richest companies in the world
Mhm.
because people do buy
Over
over the phone and over the
internet.
internet. So of course, Golden Gate Funeral Home is up to date on that. So go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to ask you this question, make sure that I am correct with this. Pre-need, do you have to live in Dallas or do you have to live here in Texas in order to call Golden Gate to get a
I'm so
pre-need?
glad she asked. I have
Mhm.
handled funeral services in Washington DC. Now, I'm not talking about I partner with another funeral home. No, me and my staff went to Washington DC.
Mhm.
I went to Baltimore, Maryland. I've had funeral service in San Francisco, in Florida. Of course, we own a facility in Louisiana. There's not a state in this nation that we won't come and handle your funeral. You say, wait a minute, do I have to use a local funeral home? You do not. You can pre-need with Golden Gate Funeral Home. We will come where you are
Mhm.
and handle your funeral services. So can I pre-need another state? Of course you can, because we will personally come and handle your funeral there. We have handled services all over the country. Will I handle service in Jamaica? Of course I will,
Mhm.
but I handle one in Africa. I've been on 6 continents out of the 7 in this world. There's no place we won't travel and take care of you. So yes, you can purchase a pre-need from Charlotte. Anywhere in the world, you're not limited to the area where we own facilities. We own facilities in Dallas. We own a building in Tarrant County. We own one in Madison Parish, which is Tallulah, Louisiana. But we handle the entire nation. You say, well, how can you handle my body if you don't have a facility there? We partner with a facility in your area. We know every licensed funeral director, embalmers, funeral homes in every state of this nation. And we will partner together to handle your services. Yes, you can pre-need with us anywhere in the world. I want to say hello to Kiki. Kiki is one of Dad's caretakers.
Yes,
She's also one of my number one report card people for this show.
Okay,
good.
great,
No,
great,
she
great.
is great. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
she's the reason why you get a better quality of
She
sound.
critiques.
She's the reason you get a better quality of picture. And one of the things she asked me, she said, it's important because she had a conversation with her brother the other day. The brother had an argument with her, not argument, but discussion about should I purchase pre-need in insurance? And she was trying to explain it to him. He was saying, look, can I just pay for my funeral with my insurance? That answer is yes, you can. But a pre-need is just telling your family exactly what you want. So you still need to pre-need,
Absolutely.
even if you choose not to pay for it.
Absolutely.
What would be the benefit of me paying for it then? You get to freeze today's cost. And you calling right now, we got about 50 seconds before we go live on KGGR. Y'all, that is extremely important. Some people can afford to freeze today's cost. Some people can't. And if you can't afford that, that's still not a reason not to have a premium. Everybody needs a premium.
Everyone.
You need to just decide if you can purchase it. Now, insurance is a lot less expensive than pre-need. Some people cannot afford pre-need. And whatever you do, do not settle for a pre-need that you don't want, or that's not exactly your wishes. Allow Charlotte to write up your pre-need and sell you some insurance to finance your pre-need. And when you're in a better financial situation, and then you can start doing an actual payment towards your pre-need. Pre-need is expensive, but in 10 years, you'll never have to pay another dime on it. Most people can't afford to do that. Or they end up purchasing pre-needs a lot less than what they actually want to do. That's not what we want you to do. That's not the reason we're here. We're here to make sure that your family knows exactly what you need and make sure the finances are there. Now you're probably wondering, why is Marlon on the phone right now? What we're doing now because of COVID, we do not go live in the studio at the radio show. We're actually do it live here at Golden Gate Funeral Home. We have the background set up here, but we are here at Golden Gate Funeral Home. So what she's doing is she's getting them into the radio so we can start our radio program. This is the very first day. Are they ready for us, Marlon?
Almost.
They trying to get us set up. I am excited. I know you're excited.
I
Sean.
am.
And we talked about payable on debt, and we talked about pre-need. We got a few more. Here we go. Hello and welcome to Ask the Undertaker. We're an open, honest look into funeral service, and we're brought to you by Golden Gate Funeral Home with facilities in Fort Worth, Texas, Dallas, Texas, and Tallulah, Louisiana. I'm your host, John Beckwith Jr., and I'm joined today by my sister, our pre-need and insurance specialist and licensed funeral director, Miss Charlotte Beckwith.
Good morning, everyone.
And we have Miss Marlonda Taylor, our chief marketing officer. She's also our limousine driver. She does so many other things here. Miss Marlonda Taylor.
Good morning, everyone.
All right, today we're going to talk a little bit about unclaimed money. You know, it's interesting. I've held this conversation before, and I thought I better revisit this. Let me tell you why. It was a confirmation for me. Is that a good friend of mine? So, well, actually, my children's doctor, Dr. O's father passed in the services today, 11 o'clock here in our chapel. So we're praying for her and her family. And she came to my office day before yesterday, and she says, John, you have $20,000 that's unclaimed.
What?
She walked into my office handling funeral service for her father. She said, John, I go out there all the time because she has her own practice. Her and her husband practice together, both medical doctors. She said, I punched up your name in your funeral home. You have $20,000 out there that's unclaimed. That's what she told me just the other day. So while I'm talking to her, I'm going out on unclaimed money. I'm going out on this Texas unclaimed. And I started seeing my name and money attached to it. And I had to start hitting claim.
Oh,
Then there's a process you go through. I'm thinking we need to have another show about
Yes,
this.
absolutely.
Because even though I did the show, I haven't been keeping up with it.
Mhm.
Wow.
At that time, I stopped and I did it,
Mhm.
but it's something you have to keep up with daily, or
Wow.
at least monthly. You have to go out to your state and see if you have any unclaimed money out there. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
She said I have about 20,000. I haven't seen 20 yet, but I saw more than what I need to be giving away. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
When's the last time you punched up your name?
You know what? It's been about a couple of years because somebody
Mhm.
called me and
2
told me the
years ago.
same thing. Yes, 2 years. And they called and told me, your sister did called and
Wow.
told me that you have some money that's unclaimed, and it got a little bit complicated with me. So I want to go
It's just
over it.
three things. Just
Uh-huh.
three things. You go out there, you punch the button.
Uh-huh.
You go out to your state and punch up unclaimed money.
Mhm.
Really?
Last
It's
time
that
you did.
simple.
I
Okay.
haven't.
You have
And-
never punched up
Mhm.
unclaimed money.
I've
So we're
never
telling
have.
everybody that's listening, welcome KGGR. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
And we're here to help you. We have three things we try to do on every show.
Mhm.
This first thing we want to do is be transparent of who owns Golden Gate Funeral Home.
That's very important.
It is owned by the Beckwith
Beckwith.
family. It was
Yes.
founded and owned by John Beckwith Sr., which is still the owner of Golden Gate Funeral
Yet
Home.
alive.
Y'all,
And
that
alive.
is a public record. We have never been owned by anyone else. We never will be owned by anyone else. We are Golden Gate Funeral Home. This is our family-owned and operated business.
Mhm.
First thing we try to get across to everyone is that you have to be prepared for death.
Mhm.
That's what we try to get across.
Mhm.
That's our very first message. We must get across that you must be prepared for death. You say, what do you mean I need to be prepared? Listen, heaven or hell.
Mhm.
We are a Christian-based company. We
Yes, sir.
truly believe there's either heaven
Or-
or hell.
Yes.
And listen, y'all, you don't just end up in one,
Uh-huh.
because heaven is by invitation only.
Uh-huh.
Come
You
on
didn't hear
now.
us say,
I hear
and you
you.
have to RSVP.
Okay.
Now, that's just what Golden Gate believes.
Yes, sir.
If you're not prepared to go to heaven, if you haven't answered the invitation, if you haven't RSVP, you're gonna end up in hell.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Doesn't matter how well you live and how good you are, either you believe in the Lord and
Or
Savior
you don't.
Jesus Christ, you believe He died
Yes.
and He
on the
rose
cross,
again and He's
yes.
coming back. And if you
Mhm.
don't believe that, you're going to hell.
That's
That's
right.
it.
That's how Golden Gate Funeral Home
And
feels
that's
about
how
it.
we live.
You have to prepare for that.
Yes.
That's something you have to actually
Prepare.
do.
Mhm.
Now, also physical
Mhm.
death.
Sure.
That's a spiritual death, but also a physical
Physical.
death.
Uh-huh.
You have to prepare for that too.
Mhm.
You can't be so selfish
Mhm.
that when you die, that you think we don't know what to do with your body.
Mhm.
Are you gonna tell me to throw you in a ditch?
Mhm.
Are you gonna tell me that you can just do anything you want? That is extremely selfish, because you passed away, your family didn't. And the
Exactly.
person who's responsible for your body
Mhm.
has to know what to do with it.
Right.
So we're saying 7 things we're gonna go over every week with your KGGR.
Yes.
7 things every week we go over with your Facebook,
Yes.
Instagram,
Yes.
YouTube,
Mhm.
that you need to be prepared for death, spiritually and
Physically.
physically.
Yes.
Another thing we're gonna pour into your life is that who the Beckwith family is.
Mhm.
We're saying that we're Golden Gate Funeral Home, that we own Golden Gate Funeral Home. Well, you need to know who we are. You need
Sure.
to know that's Charlotte Beckwith. That's my sister.
That's me.
I'm John Beckwith. This is more London Taylor, the extended family.
Yes.
We're gonna be transparent about who we are,
Mhm.
our background, where we
Yes,
come
sir.
from, what we're all about. We wanna be extremely
Transparent.
transparent, and then we wanna be your resource. That's the third thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
We want to be who you call,
Mhm.
Yes.
who you text,
Mhm.
who you email, because we are Ask the Undertaker. You guys, I have a lot of respect for my pastor. I do. I have a lot of respect for my doctor. I have a lot of respect for my attorney.
Mhm.
But y'all, they're not as smart as I am when it comes to funeral business.
Funeral business.
Listen, we are the experts in funeral business.
Mhm.
So often we'll find mentors, we'll find different people that we go to for different things, but they don't know anything about funeral business other than what they have experienced.
Mhm.
Well, Golden Gate Funeral Home in just 2020 alone handled almost 3,000 families.
Yes.
2,881 families.
A lot of people.
Just our family.
Mhm.
Now, we have a lot of experience,
Yes.
and we've been doing this 40 years.
40 years.
So you take 2,000 times 40.
Yes, sir.
How many families have
Have
we
we
handled
served?
and
Yes.
served?
Mhm.
Y'all, we are the expert when it comes to funeral business.
Yes, sir.
So it's important that you know where your resource is. And we're
Mhm.
saying Golden Gate Funeral Home is your resource.
Yes.
3 ways to get in touch with us. Whenever you're ready, I'll say first of all is our website,
Mhm.
goldengatefuneralhome.com.
Mhm.
That is the way you can reach us. You can contact us.
Mhm.
It'll email directly to me. Second way you can reach us, if you're old school like me,
Mhm.
just pick up the phone.
Mhm.
Just pick up the phone. We have 3 locations, but we're one funeral home.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give you the number to Dallas, 214, and she's putting it in there for Facebook,
Mhm.
941-7332. That's our Dallas direct phone number. Check this out. If you don't remember any other numbers, just dial that number. We can connect you to any other
Anything.
facility. We also have a facility in Fort Worth, Texas, Tarrant County. She's gonna punch this into Facebook. 817-478-9555. Again, that's 817, come on,
478
478-9555. We
9555.
have another funeral home in
Tallulah.
Tallulah, Louisiana. That's Madison Parish.
Mhm.
That's 318-574-6100. So we have 3 different locations, 3 different phone numbers, but you can call any of them and get any of them.
And Mr. B, don't forget that if Mr. Beckwith does come back and watch, or if you go back and watch the show, he can still answer your questions from
Oh,
Facebook.
sure, from
Because some
Facebook.
people still have say, well, oh, Mr. B, I gotta go to work, or I got something to do.
Right.
The show will never go away from Facebook. So you can always reach, and Charlotte, you can always reach Mr. B. They are constantly on their social media, so you can always come back to the show if you missed any part, because he will always answer your questions.
So we talked about 3 things we're gonna do.
Yes.
First, we're gonna tell you who
The Beckwith
the
family.
Beckwith family
Family
is, who
is,
owns
uh-huh.
Golden Gate Funeral. Second thing is we said we're going to educate the public about being prepared for
Mhm.
Yes.
funeral services. And then we're gonna bring something to you every week. I've been
Uh-huh.
blessed to have a wonderful wife, Miss Jacqueline, that
Yes.
writes a great show for
Thank
us
you, Miss
every
Jackie.
week.
Thank you.
And she gives something to the community.
Mhm.
This week, we're going over unclaimed money.
Claim money.
We said the first thing you need to do is go out to your state.
Mhm.
Yes.
State of Texas, if you're here, state of Louisiana, wherever you're, and go, just punch in unclaimed. Y'all, Google is amazing.
It is.
Safari, I mean, what's the other girl we be talking to at our house?
Yes,
Lexa.
Alexa.
Okay, call Alexa. I tried Alexa the other day, it didn't work. I had to say
Alexa.
Alexa. Yeah, well, if you gotta say Alexa, y'all be surprised, she'll find stuff for you too.
Uh-huh.
And you just go out there and say, I want to do,
Yes. It's
Mhm.
fine.
Unclaimed money.
Mhm.
and it'll take you there. You punch in your name,
Yes.
and it's gonna ask you a few more questions about who you are, and
Mhm.
it'll come up and ask you, is this you?
Mhm.
And it'll walk you through
Mm.
what you need. That's amazing. to me.
It is.
Now, people will say, what does it have to do with funeral business? But this is what happens. People are beneficiaries of insurance,
Oh, yes.
and you never know it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of times is that people will take out insurance and they never tell anybody,
Mm-hmm.
or they'll pass away and the insurance is never found.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what happens
To
to
that
that money?
Mm.
Well, thank you, Jackie, for the research.
Mhm.
That money goes in unclaimed money. So you might have a rich aunt, a rich uncle, or somebody that went out there and actually left you the beneficiary of an insurance policy.
Mhm.
You say, well, I can't find it. I don't know where it is. Well, Jackie did the research for you.
Yeah.
That money is not lost. You can actually go out there
Yeah.
and look for
Unclaimed.
unclaimed money.
Mhm.
It is the responsibility of the beneficiary to claim that money.
Mhm.
When you don't, the insurance companies will put it with unclaimed money. You say, wait a minute, it can't be that much money out there, right? Nowhere in the world. Everybody that's beneficiary, of course, they went and got their money, right?
Mhm.
Come on, y'all. How much money y'all think that's still out there just from insurance policies that people haven't claimed up?
You tell me, Mr.
How much
Bennett.
is it?
Now, last time, I think it was like $7 billion.
Billion dollars?
7.4
billion. There it is.
Uh-huh.
that was on 60 Minutes.
Yes.
7.4
Billion dollars just
worth
sitting
of
there.
life insurance that's
Mhm.
just sitting there
Yeah.
waiting
Wow.
on you to claim it.
Waiting for
Wow.
Now, is that important that we tell KGGR that?
Absolutely.
Is that important that we
Absolutely.
tell Facebook,
Yes.
YouTube, and everybody that's listening to us on Instagram?
Oh.
Is that $7.4
Billion
dollars need
Wow.
to be claimed?
Wow.
Y'all, that's a lot of
That
money.
is a lot.
Mhm.
That's a lot of money out there. Say, how do I go get it? Thank you, Jackie, for the great research. Because I'm just gonna read. She told me this is what you need to do. She says you need to go out there and actually claim it.
Mm-hmm.
They will not give it to you. I need to figure out how to turn off the thing ringing when we do this
Mhm.
next time. But we got it, y'all. Listen, it says, listen, very important. If you don't claim it, they're not gonna come looking for you.
Nope.
This is what she said on here. They what?
They're
Not
not gonna come
They're
looking
not
for
gonna
you.
come looking for you.
Okay.
You must go
Wow.
to your state
Mm-hmm.
and look for
Claim.
This is what she wrote. This is Jackie. How can I find out
Mm-hmm.
if life insurance company owe me
Money.
money? She got the answer right here. I bet everybody want to know this
How
one.
can I find it?
You must go out to
Claim
claim
money.
money.
Uh-huh.
Then check this out.
Mm.
Do a little research. Y'all know how y'all be doing, especially women. Y'all good at this research.
We are.
Y'all,
That's
any
what we
job that deceased person's ever worked at,
Mhm.
go ask them. just call them. Listen, I'm so-and-so's, this is my relationship to them, they passed away. Did they have an insurance policy with you? Either they're gonna say yes, or they're gonna say no. Go look in their bank accounts, like anything that came to the house.
Sure.
Look through that.
Sure.
Report out people, they send you that report.
Right,
Look
that
through it to
statement,
see
bank statement.
if there's any money that went out to
Any
a
kind of money.
Yeah.
any type of insurance company.
Mhm.
And you wanna call their company and say, listen, hey, my loved ones, this certain amount of money that was coming out of their bank
Bank
account,
account.
I wanna make sure that there's not an insurance policy connected to that.
So as simple as calling the HR department from their job,
Mhm.
just to find out if there's any
If there's
insurance.
any insurance, it's just that simple. And
Wow.
all they're gonna say is yes or no, none of your business.
Well, it's funny that you say that because, anyone that have any kind of annuity or anything, they bank them, they send you, things in the
All
mail.
the time.
I get it
And
all
then
the
a person
time.
like me that have it, I keep it, I put it up,
Yeah.
So if
that's
something happened, I need to go
search.
look,
yeah.
right?
Yes,
Check
Yeah.
this out,
that's
y'all.
true.
Contact your state insurance department.
Mhm.
Okay.
So for every state, there's an insurance department that controls who sells insurance in
Okay.
their state. Everybody can't sell in the state of Texas. You have to be licensed to do so.
Mhm.
So there's a Texas Department of Insurance.
Right.
So you can contact them and see if your loved one had an insurance policy that hasn't been claimed.
Mhm.
You say, wait, I'm not in the state of Texas. I watch you on Facebook, John. I'm listening to you in another state. Y'all, this is important. The National Association of Insurance.
Right.
There's a National Association of
Of
Insurance
Insurance.
Commissioners. They got a little name called NAIC.
NAIC.
Now, they actually have a life insurance company location system. I get asked all the time doing funeral arrangements. They say, John, is there some type of computer system we can go out to and check? And the bottom line is this, you guys, National Association of Insurance Commissioners.
Mm.
They actually do have a location system. People ask me all the time, and what I've been told over years, no, there's nothing out there that can help you. That is not true.
Right, right.
National, come on, you guys.
NAIC.
Association of,
Of
Of Insurance Commissioners. It's right here.
wow.
Wow.
And y'all, that is nationwide.
Why? Mm.
$7.4
Billion.
billion is out there.
Mm.
That's a lot.
So that's the three reasons why this show is this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know who the Beckwith family is. You need to know. Come on, you guys. Seven
Seven
things about being
things.
prepared for death.
Absolutely.
And you need to
Be
get
prepared.
a message every
Right.
week from Jackie saying, listen, there's some money out there.
Yes.
$7.4
Billion
billion.
dollars.
Go out to,
Right.
if you're in Texas Department of Insurance.
Mhm.
If you're in Louisiana
Louisiana
Department, whatever
Department of
state
Insurance.
you're
Whatever
in,
state
go out
you're
there and
in.
look for it. Unclaimed money
Mhm.
in whatever state you're in. If you think it may be an insurance policy, national, come on, you guys, let's say it again.
National
Association, come on, I'm gonna roll it down here for you, Sean, come on.
Of
All the
insurance
insurance.
commissioners.
Go out there.
NAIC, I got it.
You might have
Right.
some of that 7.4
Might
million.
belong to you.
It might belong to you.
Wow.
Thank you, Jackie, for the great research.
Tell
Thank
me
you.
about
And
it.
y'all, listen, I can't say that enough on this show.
Mhm.
We can't have enough shows about
Mhm.
making sure that we actually.
Yes.
So let's get to know a little bit about the Beckwith family. You know,
Oh,
I
here we go.
love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So we have John Beckwith Sr.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because people always see me, they hear my voice and my color. They say, are you from Louisiana?
Hmm.
And I have to actually say, listen, we just about grew up in Louisiana because Dad is from
Louisiana.
So I had to go every weekend with him. So yeah, I spent a lot of time
Yeah,
in Louisiana, pick up that voice, so
Wow.
forth and so on. But all the children, there's 5 children, were all
Okay.
born and raised in.
Dallas,
Dallas,
Texas.
Texas.
So we have a Louisiana connection, but we're
Sure.
all born and raised in Dallas. So we also own a funeral home in the state of Louisiana.
Mhm.
So people say, well, why did your grandfather start? No, that's Dad's funeral home. He opened it about 20 years, exactly 19 years
Amazing.
ago. It'll be 20 years in July. And his nephew, Michael Beckwith, runs that location. Now,
Mhm.
Michael was born and raised in
Tallulah.
Tallulah, Louisiana.
Wow.
So that's where that funeral home
Mhm.
is. And Michael did like 135 cases last year.
Ooh.
And he has like 10 people he's handling services for this week.
Wow.
3 of them today.
Wow.
Just really amazing.
Wow.
So yes, Louisiana connection. Yes,
Yes,
Dad born and
definitely.
raised in Gilbert, Louisiana. You wonder how did he get to Dallas? Well, he was managing a funeral home in Faraday, Louisiana, and the Ku Klux Klan decided they was gonna act up, and they did. And they killed some folks, and all kinds of stuff happened. He ended up having to run to Dallas.
Mhm.
He ended up here, not a place to stay, knocked on Freeman Clay's door, and the rest is history. Ended
Wow.
up staying at Lone Star Funeral Home, meeting a lady around the corner named Aline.
Wow.
At a store in South Dallas, they got together, you know, had a little house on Copeland,
Mhm.
same street, Mount
Mount
Rose
Rose
Missionary
Baptist
Baptist Church.
Church. Wow.
Uh,
So that's how we ended up there, and the rest is
Interesting.
history.
Mhm.
Then you have Alan Beckwith, which is just as important as
Mhm.
John
Absolutely,
Beckwith
the
Senior now.
matriarch.
Listen, the funeral home wasn't her vision. She was just the opposite. She grew up afraid of funeral home. Remember I tell you about Lone Star Funeral Home that he worked at, she would actually cross the street because she was afraid she wouldn't even walk past the funeral home. She just happened to fall in love with an undertaker, so she
Wow.
learned to love it
I love it.
as well. So we opened our funeral home in 1980 in Waxahachie, Texas, 1985 in Dallas, Texas, and then Tallulah, Louisiana, and then Fort Worth, Texas. So we've really been blessed,
Mhm.
and that's kind of the history of Aline and John Beckwith Sr. So people ask all the time, are you from Louisiana? Well, my mother is from Texarkana, Arkansas. So we're just as half Arkansas as we are half Louisiana. So mom is from Arkansas, dad's from Louisiana.
And we met
And then that combination met
Amazing.
in,
in Texas.
Amazing.
yeah, now that's where you get the Beckwith family, and that's the Golden Gate family. Now, 5 children. You have Carolyn, which is the oldest of the 5.
Mhm.
Then you have Michael, our brother. Now, he's passed away back in 2011. Then we have our sister Deborah, which is we call Denise.
Mhm.
She's the only of the 5 children that did not work in the funeral business. She lives in Houston, Texas. And then we have Charlotte. And then you have myself, and people
The
say, why
baby.
is the youngest, why is the baby in Charlotte? I gotta give you a little history. I'm the first one started in the funeral business. Right, so I went to Mortuary College back in 1985. They
Yeah.
all had their own little lives going.
Right.
So I went first, so I ended up being the boss. So that's why I ended up being the CEO. They came on later, they all worked for me.
Later.
I just wanna let y'all know I'm the boss.
And the baby.
But it is a blessing to be family owned and operated. Y'all, I've never worked a day in my life. Never have. I've always do what I love to
That's
do.
right.
I've always worked for myself. I've never worked for anyone else. And I've always worked alongside my parents. They were my parents and my boss. I've worked with 2 of my sisters every day. I worked with my brother every day before he passed away. And it's just really wonderful. I have
Now your
We've been
daughters.
my
blessed.
daughter work
And
here, my nieces, my
nephews,
nephews, my
Yes.
cousins.
Uh-huh.
You know, we've
Wow.
just been blessed to be this family
Mhm.
actually owned and
Amazing.
operated business. Now, I also volunteer as a police officer. I'm
Mhm.
also a deputy constable
Yes.
over Dallas County Precinct 1. Hello, my boss, Constable Tracy Gully,
Uh-huh.
where I serve as one of the reserves, and I'm the assistant chief deputy there at that
Awesome.
precinct. So that's something I actually
Mhm.
volunteer and do. I don't get paid by the county, so I don't want y'all to get that twisted.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm taking government money, definitely not the case. But that is one of the things I've done for 27 years. I graduated from the Police Academy back in 1993. So we've really been blessed.
Mhm.
Charlotte Beckwith grew up in the Dallas area, which is a licensed funeral director. She's a licensed insurance agent. She's a licensed pre-need agent. Very competitive. What we learned last week about her, she's a hustler in a good way.
Yes.
And she learned hustling from being a
Competitor.
very good competitive
Mhm.
basketball player, played college basketball, played on high school and college level. Thank God for her coming and joining the
Yes.
business and have
Absolutely.
been here for quite a while.
Mhm.
Now, today I told you I was gonna introduce y'all to someone else that's not blood relative. I try my best to get her in the family. Let me just say that. I try my
Y'all,
best, y'all.
listen.
I try my best.
Y'all don't do
So
it.
let me introduce y'all to
Y'all.
my favorite. My 105 employees will tell you that Marlonda is the CEO's favorite. This is Miss Marlonda Taylor. Everybody say hello to Marlonda.
Hello,
And we love
everyone.
Marlonda today. Marlonda is a graduate from Texas A&M Commerce, where she
Mhm.
received her bachelor's and her master's degree.
Yeah.
She's worked at several colleges. One of my favorite, SMU.
Yes, yes.
She's recruited for them, and she's just been a
Yes.
major asset to the Golden Gate Funeral Home. She
Mhm.
just celebrated
15 years.
with
Yes.
us just last week.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank God for her.
So excited.
And then our chief marketing officer. Now she is the generation below us.
Mhm.
Now she's only 40 years old.
Yes.
So she speaks to and for the generation that's below me. She is only 3 years older than my daughter.
Yep.
So we have to listen to her, Marlonda. That's the reason she's on the show. She plays a major role.
Mhm.
Y'all had no idea what Facebook was until Marlonda introduced me. This is a true story. Instagram, YouTube. We
Mhm.
started a reality show back in 2013. She says you need to be on
Yes.
social media. I was like, I
Yes.
don't know what you're talking about. She
Mhm.
started my Facebook.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She started my Instagram.
Yeah.
She set up my YouTube. She set
Yeah.
up everything. So this is for real. I had no idea what that was.
Really?
She was telling me like you need to join
Yeah.
these groups in
Absolutely.
order for you to get friends. And people think I'm the Facebook expert right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm on that thing.
Yeah.
You would think that you think I was 24/7.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Yeah.
Marlonda is the
I
reason
didn't know
why.
that.
And she was just a baby. You gotta keep in mind, she did that to me
Right.
15 years ago.
Uh-huh.
You gotta keep in mind who I'm talking to 15
Mhm.
years ago.
Mhm.
How old are you? 25 years old.
Mhm.
So you're talking about the CEO of the
Young.
company. I'm
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
successful at this point. Here she comes. A
Right.
little 25-year-old girl walking in here telling me,
Mhm.
talking about you need to be on something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, girl, I'm old school.
Yeah.
We ain't living no, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, she
But
changed my
untrue
whole
blind.
Yeah. Yeah.
life.
Now he's addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
Now
doing
I'm like,
everything from
what,
there.
what would it be like if
free.
I had not
Marketing.
met,
Mhm.
if I had
Yeah.
not met Marlonda?
Or being open because
Absolutely.
recognizing that it's a different generation,
Right.
a younger generation that
Right.
we need to
Right.
communicate with.
Right.
So we need a Merlonda.
Yeah.
25-year-old woman
But
is
she
talking to
opened
the
up,
owner
yes.
of a multi-billion-dollar
Yeah,
business,
absolutely.
and she's the age of my child.
Mhm.
How you gonna come tell me something about anything? You know how
Mhm.
successful I am?
I promise you
Right.
that's exactly what he promised.
Right. But he's so shy, y'all have
Oh
no
my God,
idea.
believe it or
He's
not,
so
oh my
shy.
God.
He just,
Let me tell it.
so this is
She said,
element
"Let
for
me
him.
me tell it.
Yeah.
Now, that I say that all the time, and I tell people I know I'm naturally shy. You guys, I'm always quiet. And if those who's watching and listening that grew up with me know that's, I grew into
Yeah.
this. This is something I learned. It's not something I
He's
naturally
in his
have.
element, y'all. When he's on camera, he's in his
He's
element,
in his
y'all.
element.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So this is about Marlonda today. I know she don't want me to talk about her, but now since I did try to get her in the family, since then she has married Keith, a wonderful
Wonderful.
husband.
Yes.
He's a minister. He's
Wonderful
also a
man.
musician.
Oh my God.
He's a
Yes.
great guy. He's a
Mm.
future pastor.
talented.
She already claimed it. She calls herself
Beautiful.
First Lady
All
on
right.
Instagram.
Walk in it.
She's
Yeah,
already
everybody
claimed it.
calls me that.
They have two wonderful children, which I am the
Beautiful.
godfather. I mean, you
Yes.
guys, wonderful person. I just want you all to know who Marlonda
Thank
Taylor
you.
is. So we've been
And I'm proud.
blessed
Thank
to
you.
have you on here. Remember, I told you it's the three parts. Now, you know a little bit more about Golden Gate Funeral Home.
Mhm.
You know where we started and
Yes, sir.
where we are now. Now, you know a little bit about Charlotte.
Yes.
Of course, you know a little bit more about the CEO.
Mhm.
You have my phone number, email
Mm-hmm.
address, Charlotte's phone
Mhm.
number, email address. Let's talk about the third thing,
Okay.
which is the seven things when we talk about
Mhm.
preparation.
Mhm.
People may ask, where did the seven things come from? And I can tell you, we started the show over 15 years ago.
Mhm.
And 15 years ago, I only had three things I talked about. I only talked about pre-need, I
Mhm.
talked about insurance, and I talked about last will and testament.
Mhm.
Over the years, Jackie became a part of the show
Mhm.
as a producer, the person behind the camera, not
Right.
in front of the camera.
Right.
And she kept teaching us over and over. Each
Mhm.
week, she would give us new things.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that is what added, and that's how we end up with the number of completion of the seven
Seven.
things. She just kept pouring into us.
Awesome.
So let's talk about the three basics.
Okay.
So we talked a little bit about pre-need earlier. So
Okay.
let's talk a little bit about that now. People ask me all the time, what is pre-need?
Mhm.
And is there something I have to buy?
Mhm.
So the answer to that pre-need is that you are telling your family, friends, and undertaker
Mhm.
what you want done in writing.
Right.
Say, wait a minute, now listen, if you want to get saved, if you want to go to heaven,
Mhm.
you need to have a talk with Jesus.
Mhm.
I'm just telling
Tell
you,
them
you
all
really do.
about
it.
And then you're gonna have to confess with your mouth.
That's
Yes.
right.
That's what it
That's
says,
right.
right? So that's something you do between you and God.
Mhm.
But you guys, if you want to prepare physically,
Mhm.
you need to put it in writing.
Right.
There needs to be a contract. There needs to be something they can actually read,
Mhm.
not just a conversation.
Mhm.
Now, God is gonna forget nothing. Your family
Come
will.
on now.
Mhm.
And God doesn't have, he's not an author of confusion, but your family is.
All right.
Mhm.
It needs to be in writing.
Writing.
If you choose to pay for it, fine by us.
Mhm.
But even if you choose not to,
Mhm.
at least
Right.
trust somebody with something in writing. You guys, you got to be able to finance certain things. That's the
Yes.
second thing. You got to be able to finance. You got to be able to finance what happens after you die.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You need to be able to finance your funeral.
Mhm.
You need to be able to finance your kids going to college. You need
College.
to finance the mortgage you left behind and all the bills you left behind.
Mhm.
The best way to finance that is through insurance.
Insurance.
A lot of times, Charlotte, people don't understand how inexpensive insurance is.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really inexpensive and it's determined by your age and your health, but you can get insurance and you can get a large amount of insurance.
Mhm.
Like you say, when you pass, you're still leaving your loved ones behind, a mortgage behind. You leaving this information behind. If you take care of your parents, you leaving a bill behind that needs to be paid. So that's why everyone should have some type of life insurance policy.
And listen, she says that, but listen, I can't save money. I mean, if I'm one of those people like, I make enough
Oh, yeah.
money to pay my bills.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I don't have more bills than I have money.
Money.
Mhm.
So it's hard for me to save to pay for something. Y'all, listen, insurance is very expensive.
Mhm.
If you want to leave somebody money behind, the best way to do that is
Through an
insurance.
insurance policy.
Now, listen, if you put $30 a month in a bank, it's going to equal to nothing in 20 years.
Mhm.
Put $30 a month in an insurance policy, and when you pass,
Right.
it's going to be a whole bunch of money.
Right.
That's the best way to take care of it. We have a question from YouTube.
Yeah, so the question is for the Beckwith family saying, how does a family deal with two different insurance policies? So say, for instance, I have an insurance policy, and we always use this from the teacher retirement.
Mhm.
Then we also have one that I finance through my, say, Liberty Mutual.
Okay.
How do you use both?
That's a very good question. As a funeral director, let me say this. You can't get enough insurance policy.
Okay, not.
You can't. Because each one of them is just money.
Mhm.
That's what we call a blank check.
Mhm.
So you may have more than one insurance policy, but just one beneficiary.
Okay.
That's just money coming from different entities coming to
One
that
person.
beneficiary. You may have different insurance policies with different beneficiaries.
Okay.
So that means that money is just gonna come directly to that person. All an insurance policy is just a blank check
Okay.
that's gonna be written to that beneficiary at your time of
That's
death.
good.
It doesn't matter which insurance company it's coming from.
Mhm.
The name doesn't matter. If they're licensed in this state, if that
Mhm.
person was able to write, there is no bad insurance companies.
Mhm.
Because if they're licensed in this state, they are good to go. Don't let nobody fool you with, oh, you gotta have
That's
American
right.
National, oh, you gotta have Reliable, oh, you gotta have Global Life, you gotta have Forrester.
Right.
Y'all, they're all licensed in this state, and they all have to pay your beneficiary when somebody passes
And
away.
I just want to add, that's when he was talking about the NAIC, that's what they're for. Even if your
Gotcha.
insurance company go out of business,
Texas
the
Department
Texas
of
Department's
Insurance.
gonna
Okay.
pick it up. And they're helped by the NAIC, so it's always gonna be available. And also at Golden Gate, if you have any question about insurance, you call us and come in. We will go over each one of call the insurance company for you to make sure that it's still current. We're here to help you because insurance just makes sense.
Texas Department of Insurance,
Mhm.
make sure that no one in Texas can sell you a bad policy.
Mhm.
Now, even if they go out of business, Texas Department of Insurance
Ain't going.
protects your money.
Money.
You will not lose. Listen,
Mhm.
Pre-need is backed by the Texas Department of Insurance as well.
Mhm.
So even if you purchased a pre-need with a funeral home and they went out of business, Texas Department of Insurance can help you with that.
Perfect.
That is the best investment you're gonna, y'all, this is not playing the stock market. There's no risk in insurance policies.
Okay.
There's no risk in pre-need. You cannot lose one.
Dime.
The
Okay.
only way you ever lose your money is stop paying on
That's it.
it. If it lapses, you
Mhm.
lost it. As
Mhm.
Yeah.
long as you continue to pay on it,
Right.
and even if you get to a position where you say, I can't afford it, you guys, you can cash that thing out.
Mhm.
Just don't make it, don't just ignore it.
Hmm.
If you're at the point where I can no longer make a payment, you call that insurance company, I can't no make any more payments. What can I do with what I've already invested into?
Okay.
And then allow them to pick it up from there. You see anything else on there?
No, sir, that was it from you too. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I just want to make sure when you take out a life insurance policy, talk to your agent and make sure they explain to you what type of insurance that you have.
And if you, remember, you can call us.
Or us.
Just call us. We got you. It
Because
doesn't
it's
matter.
different
We don't have
types.
to sell it to
We're
you
not-
to
yeah,
explain it to you.
exactly.
We'll be more than happy to
Yeah.
do that. Guys, it's 7 things. Go ahead.
So, a question for the undertaker, what do you do if you stop making those payments and you withdraw that money? Where do you suggest that someone invest that or put that money?
You put that money back into another insurance policy,
Okay,
but you get a smaller amount so you can afford it each month.
okay,
But don't ever not have an insurance policy.
Gotcha.
That is the best investment you'll ever make in your life.
okay.
You guys, we talk about 7 things, and the third thing is the last will and testament,
Mhm.
especially us as African Americans.
Mhm.
This is very important that we'll talk about the history of African Americans and how many things were lost, and what we used to own and what we used to have,
Mhm.
and then we lost it. I remember separate but equal back in Jim Crow time.
Yes, sir.
African Americans collected a lot of land because we stuck together
That's
and we
right.
put our money together.
That's right.
And then last will and testaments wasn't in place, and when that person died, it was taken from us.
No.
And then the next generation didn't have it in writing, so those people came and took what was rightfully ours.
Yes, sir.
But we're saying that we work so hard for all the things that we have, we need to
Protect
have
it.
something in writing
Yes,
called
sir.
a last will and testament, saying this is
Mhm.
who should receive my assets, and these are the people who are gonna pay my liabilities.
Right.
We're just saying, put something in writing.
And protect we have to protect our families too. So we always talk about, and Charlotte say, oh, we're in the sandwich generation. So
Mhm.
Mr. B says, well, I take care of my children, but I also take care of my father.
Mhm.
I take care of my mother, but I also take care of my children. So we want to make sure that we don't forget about those who brought us up.
Those are
And we want to
assets.
make sure that our parents are the greatest asset that God could have ever given to us. And you want to make sure, should something happen to you, God forbid, that they are taken care of.
And it's in writing.
Writing.
You can see that we can spend the entire hour just on
Just
those
on
three
seven
what
things,
this is.
yeah.
We just done
Absolutely.
three.
Okay.
So let's go to the fourth one, and Jackie really helped us with this, and she says, listen, you need to talk little bit about living wills, because
Oh,
everybody don't die.
Mhm.
He said some people get
Mhm.
sick, some people will become disabled,
Mhm.
and they can't speak for themselves, and you need to have something in writing, saying, I wanna be put in a nursing home, I wanna be taken home, I don't wanna be on life-sustaining medicine.
Sure,
Just put your wishes in writing, even if it's yet alive.
sure.
It's what we call a
Living
living
will.
will, and you can insure your wishes.
Mm-hmm.
There are a thing called a disability insurance, meaning that I become disabled, the money, they will pay so much money, it's called a
Mhm.
living
Living
benefit.
benefit.
That's a disability insurance.
Mhm.
Okay.
So he said, my wish is to go home, well, make sure you can finance that.
That's
My
right.
wish is to do this, make sure it's financed through a disability
Okay.
insurance
Mhm.
policy. We
Mhm.
talked a little bit earlier about payable on debt.
Mhm.
Remember, anyone who has a bank account, please go there.
Mhm.
Put a payable on debt on your bank account.
Please.
Just a beneficiary. That's all it is. Sixth thing is a right of
Ooh,
disposition.
wee.
How important is that, Mark?
Good.
It is so important just because I know, there are families who some believe in cremation, some believe in traditional burial.
Mhm.
And so if you, have a person on here that you may even be just having a feud against, St. Charlotte, you may want to change that right of disposition because, if you're at odds. But for me, I know that the person is one to carry out my wishes, so it's someone that I trust. And typically, I think the whole point of Miss Jackie even giving us these 7 things is so that the 7 things are consistent. So whoever is my beneficiary is likely going to be that person who is going to be my right of disposition.
So
They're
this
going to
is
carry it
my-
out.
This is my first time listening. I know we do this every week and we kind of speak about it because we know so much about it. So this is KGG, our first time with us.
Okay.
What is a right of disposition?
Mhm.
It's just a sheet of paper.
It
It's
is.
saying this person is
Is
in
in-
charge
Mhm.
when I pass away.
Mhm.
That's the only thing we're saying is that put a person in charge. You say, wait a minute, my wife is automatic in charge.
Put
Good,
it in
put it in writing. So your mom is not arguing.
Come on now.
Mhm.
My husband is automatic in charge. He is, but put it in writing so your daddy and your uncle ain't arguing with him.
Mhm.
Just put it in
Right.
and write
Yes,
it out
sir.
who's gonna be in charge. You have
That's
5 kids.
Mhm.
Come
They're
on.
all equal next
Next
to
of
Right.
kin.
Mhm.
Put it in writing.
Right.
And y'all, the last thing we talk about is a letter of last instruction. That sounds really long, sounds really complicated. And Shaw, you was talking about earlier, when things are complicated, we stop.
Mhm.
We'll start, but then it becomes complicated.
Yeah.
We don't wanna make this complicated. Just tell us where everything is.
Mhm.
That's all we're asking.
Mhm.
Listen, is it still shaking? We good? What we're saying is, put in writing where we can find things when you pass away.
Sure.
Y'all, it shouldn't be a treasure hunt when you pass away.
Don't tear my
I
house
shouldn't
up.
be looking for the 7 things, shouldn't be looking for an insurance policy
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
pre-need. It shouldn't be $7.4 billion because somebody didn't give the beneficiary a copy of the
Mhm.
Mhm.
insurance policy.
Mhm.
Give me a letter, tell me where everything
Is.
is. And those are the 7 things, and I think that's very important.
Yes, sir.
But another thing we do at Golden Gate Funeral Home, Ask Them to Take a Show, we recognize those who have passed on to their reward within the last week. So at this time, we're gonna read those names, and Charlotte's gonna do a prayer for those families. Ms. Morlan?
Mr. Oscar Marquez, Mr. Randall Evans, Miss Barbara Starks, Mr. Alan Wallace, Miss Margaret Smith, Mr. Alan Dupree, Mr. Timothy Franklin Jr., Infant Kelly McDuff, Infant Zahara Taylor, Mr. Arthur Sparks Jr., Miss Juana Lopez, Miss Diana Ferguson, Mr. Ricky Johnson, Miss Essie Tidline, Mrs. Beverly Small, Miss Margie Lane, Miss Arnita Felder, Mr. Joe McClendon, Mr. Marion Brown Jr., Miss Berna Bridges, Mr. Randall Hobbs, Mr. Nathan Dean, Ms. Shelley Mooson Timms, Mr. Racine Collins, Miss Desi Walker, Miss Ruth Hillary, Mr. Virgil Mitchell, Miss Ella Childress, Miss Rosetta Gardner, Mr. Charles Turner, Mr. Norville Taylor, Miss Opal Kendrick, Miss Shirley Jackson, Mr. Lester Johnson, Miss Joan Tate, Miss Claudia Brown, Mr. Santiago Munez, Miss Nye Hott, Mr. Alex Williams Jr., Dr. Stephen Alofa, Miss Danica Rollins, Miss Dolores Davis, Mr. Lenny Cofield, Mr. Cleburne Joyner, Miss Doris Brown, Miss Leon Brown, Mr. Jordan Franklin, Mr. Ross Sanders, Mr. Clifton Mitchell, Miss Kaylet Kay, Miss Martha Atkins, Mr. Tayron Hill, Mr. Willie Freeman, Miss Lynette Lakes, Mr. Hester Wilson Jr., Mr. Henry Oliver, Miss Lindsay Jenkins, Miss Annie Williams, Miss Gloria Gomez, Miss Gwendolyn Aaron, Mr. Yulon Jones, Miss Katie Thomas, Miss Tanisha Tyson, Mr. Lloyd Burns, Mr. Sylvester Duncan, Miss Ernestine Taylor, Miss Deja Gibson, Mr. Wayne Robinson, Mr. DeMarco Robinson, Mr. Brian Hill, Mr. Alfred Hillman, Mr. Lucy James, Mr. Chester Garrett, Miss Dolita Pipkins, Mr. Donald Lockwood, Miss Madeline Johnson, Mr. Freddie Jeffers, Miss Betty Hill, Miss Dolores Jackson Diaz, Mr. Floyd Jackson, Mr. Tiny Silliman, Mr. Billy Elder, Miss Grace Burns Solis, Miss Thelma Parsha, Mr. Glenn Johnson, Miss Helen Moore, Mr. James Grant, Mr. Rodney Morgan, Mr. Willard Gillop, and Mr. Roger Melcath.
Heavenly Father, once again, we come to your throne of grace with thanksgiving and praise, Father God. But right now, we're standing in intercessory for the families who has lost a loved one. Lord, we thank you for the life and the legacy of these families. But we also ask you, God, to just be that the person and the spirit that they need, Father God, as they go and bury their loved ones today. God, we still lift you up and give you the praise, the honor, and the glory. In Jesus' precious, mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Welcome to Ask the Undertaker. Thank you, KGGR, for allowing us to continue our radio show for the last 15 years. That's KGGR, which is 10:40 a.m. on your KGGR AM.com. And this is important, you guys. Today we're talking a little bit about unclaimed money.
Yes.
So I told y'all a story about Dr. O came into my office and
Mhm.
she said, John, you have over $20,000 out there. Go out there and claim your
Money.
So we're saying, go out there to your state, punch in unclaimed money for your state,
Mhm.
and then go out there and fill out the necessary paperwork to do what you have to do
Mhm.
to get that unclaimed money. Remember, just beneficiaries alone of insurance policy, there's over 7.4 billion dollars out there. You say, well, how do I find out if some of that money is mine? Go to your state Department of Insurance. There's another thing called NA,
NAIC.
which stands for National Association of
Insurance commissioners.
Go out there, they actually have a database that can help you.
That's
You say, well, John,
awesome.
I'm not gonna remember all of this. Listen, there's some phone numbers,
Mhm.
there is some email
Email.
addresses, take advantage of that. Just remember, call Golden Gate Funeral Home.
Yes.
Ask for the undertaker.
Yes.
Say, listen, what were y'all talking about on that radio show the other
Yes.
day?
Mhm.
I wanna make sure I miss out on none of that
Nothing.
money.
Mhm.
And we wanna make sure you miss out on none of that money.
Mhm.
Remember the 7 things we talk about?
Yes.
Insurance, we talk about pre-need,
Pre-need.
we talk about
Last.
last will and testament, a living will, we
Right.
talk about payable on death, we talk about a right of
Disposition.
disposition, and we talk about a last letter of instructions. Don't panic.
Don't
We're
panic.
gonna be here every Saturday
Mhm.
from 10:15 to 11 o'clock a.m. And we're gonna go back over those 7 things with you again.
Yes.
And remember, Golden Gate Funeral Home is Beckwith family owned and operated. Quite often, our competitors or people haters or want to tell you that we're all by. Y'all, I know we like skin, but we're not white.
Come on now.
Y'all, listen, white is not even close to being our family. My granddaddy ain't white. My great granddaddy ain't white. Ain't none of them white. We got a mixed family with mixed colors, but we're a lot of things. But all my white folks ain't never been one
Come
of them.
on now.
So we want to make sure that is clear. This is our money. This is what we do.
That's
We
right.
take care of this community. You want to say something? in
Yes, I
15
want to
seconds,
tell,
Alexis?
well, Facebook, thank y'all so much. Y'all have been reaching out to us, personally calling us. I'd like to say hello to Bishop Victor Scott. He's continue watching us. He's putting us out there. So keep on calling in and keep reading our
Yes.
Facebook
Social media.
page. Yes.
We got Facebook, we
works.
have YouTube, we
Yes,
have,
Instagram.
Instagram.
thank God for
We thank
Marlonda
y'all.
Taylor. We wouldn't have
Yeah.
known about you 15 years ago. Thank you,
Thank
Jen Jackie, for a great show. Thank you,
Thank
John
you,
Beckwood
Miss
Sr.
Jackie.
for allowing us to use
Your
your
money.
money. I know you guys are missing Kevin Haynes and Carolyn Haynes today, my sister and brother-in-law.
Mhm.
They had a death in their church family.
Yes.
You said, wait a minute now. Yeah, listen, they have a very small church, so they're like family. So they're
Yes.
there with
Taking
that
care of
family
their
right
family.
now.
Yes.
And listen, we have 28 families we're going to get to serve today.
Absolutely.
We thank God for you.
Thank
Thank
you
for
for
your
trusting
service.
us.
Thank you, Lord.
May God bless you and may God keep you is our prayer.